Okay, so this could either be another fluke, it could be nothing, or it could be the start of a labor and delivery vlog. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But my mom is on her way to come get me because I have been having really weird feelings in my chest with my heart. I've also been having a really bad migraine, and my vision in my right eye has been a little, not this eye, this one, I was just rubbing this one, been a little weird since yesterday. My mom is gonna come get me. I don't know, I've just been feeling off. So we're gonna go get it checked just to make sure that my heart is fine. And I've never really had any heart problems before, but I've just been having really weird feelings in my chest, and baby hasn't really moved as much as she should, or she has been. So we're just gonna make sure that she's okay. Pretty sure I still have been having contractions, but they're not painful at all. They're just, again, Braxton Hicks, which is fine. But I don't know, something just feels off with me and not necessarily her. I just want to make sure that, like, we're good. I'm dressed and I'm ready. I just feel like this is kind of pointless. I know that some people, like, when they have symptoms like this, are like, I need to go get checked, but I don't know. The last time I went and I was not feeling the best, they kind of made me feel dumb for even coming in. So I'm a little scared. I didn't know. My mom just told me. She was like, well, all of my kids are preeclamptic. And then my sister, my nephew, he's a preeclampsia baby as well. Now I'm a little nervous, but I mean, if they send me home, they send me home. It's not a big deal. I don't want them to dismiss how I'm feeling, because it's literally how I'm feeling. Like, I don't feel right. A really weird feeling in my chest last night that kind of freaked me out. So I don't know if they're going to care about that or not, but we'll see. So yeah. Okay, so I didn't film an update about what happened yesterday. That was yesterday when I was letting you guys know that I was leaving to go to the hospital. We're still pregnant. That has not changed. We possibly almost weren't. So I told you guys my mom was coming to pick me up because I was having some chest pains and some weird feelings. I just didn't feel right. So we went to the ER, told them I was having chest pains, and they like got on it real quick because they take chest pains very seriously in the ER. They came in, hooked me up to all these cords and stuff. I don't have any footage of this because everything was just everywhere. I don't have pictures or footage, so I'm sorry. They monitored my heart and everything, took my blood pressure, and then they also did a chest x-ray to make sure nothing was wrong with my heart. And we were in the ER for about a good few hours. Mind you, I was in the hospital for 10 hours yesterday. I was in the ER for part of it, and then I was in labor and delivery for part of it. That goes by. I didn't even notice I was even having really any contractions other than the normal ones I've been having for a while. I'm sitting there, and they also put an IV in me while I was in the ER just in case if I needed fluids or anything. I'm sitting there on the bed and I start getting really painful, like, pressure, and the monitor in the room was even picking up, like, my heart rate kept fluctuating because I was in pain. It wasn't that it was super painful, it was just really uncomfortable, and like she was like lodged up in my rib cage because she's been sitting on my right side for a while. So I was just kind of like, okay, this is weird. I don't know if this is her moving around and it's hurting this bad, or if these are contractions. I was like, just in case if they're contractions, because I know contractions are tightness of the uterus and it's a lot of pressure. But it wasn't super painful yet. It was just mostly a lot of discomfort. I pulled out my phone because I have my contraction timer on my phone, and I start timing my contractions. Well, I was going to tell you, but I'm vlogging on my phone. So my first one was about 40 seconds long. It wasn't super painful, but I could definitely feel it. It was very uncomfortable. Lasted 40 seconds, stopped the timer, we were good. I think that one said like 3 minutes went by, and then I had another one. That one lasted about a minute long. That one stopped, and then a couple more minutes go by, and I have another one, and that one lasts another minute. That one stops. I think 2 more minutes go by and another one happens, and that one lasted for almost 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then as soon as I hit the stop button, it popped up a notification saying, get ready to go to the hospital, like start packing your hospital bags. So I showed my mom, because obviously she's still with me. And so she grabbed my phone and took it to the nurse, and they were like, oh God. They called my OB, took me up to L&D. That's where everything kind of gets a little chaotic. So they sent me up to L&D, and I'm already in a gown at this point. I just still have my pants on because they had to tape all of those wires to me. When I got up to LMD, they had me take off my pants. So I was completely naked under the gown now. Got me on the monitors. Renly's heartbeat was perfectly fine, 156. It's been like that since my last appointment. She was totally okay. They checked me. I wasn't dilated at all. Still to this day, I'm not dilated. They watched my contractions while I was sitting there, and my contractions were a minute apart. Like, they were just popping out, and they were getting stronger. Came in, and they were trying to give me a shot that was going to basically try and stop my contractions. And the nurse tells me, it's going to make your heart race. Now, this is where everything gets really chaotic, and I'm so glad my mom came with me. I'm someone who has severe anxiety, especially when it comes to my body not feeling right. So when she told me that it was going to make my heart race, I look at my mom and I'm like, I don't want it. And so I roll over away from this nurse. I'm not kidding. I full-on fledged, like, turned into a child because I rolled away from her and I just start crying and like hyperventilating. And she's, no offense to this nurse, but like, she's trying to grab my arm and force me to take this shot. And I was just like, can we stop for a second? And she was like, you have to think about your baby now. And I'm like, I am thinking about my baby, but I'm also thinking about the fact that, like, this could stress her out. And, you know, because I'm going to have a panic attack. It's inevitable. I'm going to have a panic attack. If you give this to me, I'm going to freak out. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to happen. So my mom was like, give her a minute. Can we, like, see her doctor? Because at this point, my OB hasn't even come in yet. We haven't even talked to her. The nurse leaves. She takes the shot with her and is like, yeah, she'll be here in a little bit because she was busy. She was at home. Her son was sick. We're waiting for her to come in, and she finally does. And she was like, okay, well, this is not what we want. You're 35 weeks pregnant. We don't want her to come early. So they, mind you, my blood pressure has been perfect this entire time. The whole time. My blood pressure has not risen. My heart rate's kind of gone up a little bit, but that's because of the contractions. But other than that, it's always gone back down, and it's been normal the whole time. Nothing bad. But they wanted to give me a blood pressure pill, which they did, to not only help with lowering my blood pressure, which it didn't need to be lowered at all because it wasn't that bad, but she said it was also supposed to help calm my uterus down. They gave me the pill, I took it, and they were like, okay, well, we have to wait for the effects to kick in and blah, 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 and hope that it will help with your contractions. So 45 minutes go by, no one really comes in, and then someone comes in and they're like, okay, this pill's not working. They basically kind of told me that they didn't even wait long enough for the effects to even kick in of the pill. So I was like, then why are you here? They were like, okay, we have no other choice but to give you the shot. At this point, I have already had 2 bags of fluid put in my IV. 2 bags, okay? So they did stuff before they gave me the pill and everything. They gave me those 2 bags, which helped a lot, but I was still contracting. So that's why they gave me the pill. And they were like, okay, well, you're still having contractions. They're still going, and you're still not progressing. So we really need to stop these. They were like, we really don't have any other choice but to give you this shot. And I was like, as much as I still really didn't want it, I was like, okay, whatever. If it gets me to go home, just give it to me. They gave me the shot, and I had probably the worst reaction I think I've ever had to anything, because it did in fact make my heart race, because it was a muscle relaxer. And I've never in my life ever had a muscle relaxer ever. my mother-in-law was terrified. I had both my mom and my mother-in-law in there with me, and my heart rate got up to 170 something. And I didn't know this until after my mom told me all of this. And my mom is sitting there trying to talk me through, because I had 3 panic attacks during this. It was just a lot. It was scary, and like the feelings that were just going throughout my body, I didn't like it, and I didn't like the way it made me feel. It did slow my contractions down a lot, but I don't even remember the name of the shot because I was just so terrified of it. I didn't want to remember what it was. My mom actually looked up the side effects of this shot, and they're not good. First of all, the shot isn't even FDA approved at all. And it's even not recommended to be given to pregnant women to stop their contractions. And because of how high my heart rate went, I could have had a seizure. So that is terrifying. And here's the thing, I am someone, I don't like taking pills. I don't like taking medicine. I don't like foreign things going into my body. And my mom didn't tell me about the side effects of the shot until after we left the hospital. And it made me feel gross and dirty, because I would never allow something like that to go into my body. It made me feel disgusting. I would never, ever, ever let anything like that go in my body. That kind of made me mad, because they didn't even tell me the side effects of the pill or the shot. The only thing they told me was that it's going to make your heart race. That's it. That's the only thing they told me about it. That was kind of all the nurses were really nice. The staff was super sweet. They were very understanding about the anxiety and everything, but they were just trying to do their job and get me out, because all of their rooms were full. And because I wasn't progressing and wasn't technically having a baby today, they were really trying to get me out, because women are about to pop babies out. So I laid there for a while. They monitored me the whole time after they gave me everything to make sure that I didn't have any of the side effects of the shot. It was still really, really scary. And just even thinking about it, it kind of makes me feel anxious, because I did not like the way that I felt at all whatsoever. After they gave me the shot, they gave me 1 more bag of fluids, because that seemed to be the most effective thing. Basically, I was just insanely, like, severely dehydrated. The fluids helped a lot, but I wish they would have figured that out before they injected whatever the fuck it was they injected into my body. After they did that, she flushed my IV, because that was the last bag that they were going to give me. They monitored my contractions. They were still happening, but they were a lot more spaced out, and they weren't as intense as they were being. And they let me eat because I was really hungry. I had been in the hospital since 2 o'clock, and it was 11:30 when they discharged me. That's all that happened last night. Now, here's the thing. We found out that the pill or the shot they gave me does not stop my contractions, but it slows them down. So there is still a possibility that my contractions can pick back up, because the medicine can stay in my body for 24 to 48 hours. It's already been 24 hours, so there's no telling. I haven't really had a whole lot of contractions. I've had a couple that I could tell I was having, but if I've had more, I haven't really noticed. So there is still a possibility that she could end up coming. I don't know why, because they couldn't figure out why they were still happening. I'm literally sitting in my bed thinking to myself, I'm like, it's her. Like, she's just ready to get out. It's her. Like, she's just ready to go. But like in my head, I just kept thinking, she's ready to come out. Like, she's ready to go. It just sounded stupid if I would have said it out loud. But that's all I kept thinking was like, it's her. She's ready to go. Like, she's like, let me out. She wasn't in distress or anything. Her heart rate never changed. She was perfectly fine the entire time. Mommy, on the other hand, was a wreck. I got home and I was sore from having contractions and then all of a sudden not having them. My belly is still kind of sore from all of that. Like, if I go to get up out of bed, I can definitely feel it. Oh, right arm and everything was swollen because of all of the fluids being injected into me. We also had our baby shower last weekend on the 2nd. I didn't vlog or anything because I think that's kind of where it all started. I was a little stressed out about the baby shower and like all the people and anxiety and all of that. I was gonna do a baby shower haul, but Colton left for his work trip and I was just like, let's get everything ready because I have a feeling something's gonna happen. And sure enough, now I'm not put on bed rest, but I'm not really allowed to do anything. Like, I'm not allowed to clean my house. I'm not allowed to really go grocery shopping. Like, they don't want me to be doing anything active for at least a few days. I have both of my hospital bag is packed, and then I have her diaper bag packed with her hospital stuff that she'll need. I have an outfit for Colton in case if he has to rush home and we have to go to the hospital because he's been out of town for work. It's been just a lot. He was really upset and anxious last night because he didn't know if he needed to start coming home or not because the way it sounded, I was in labor. Honestly, if my hospital had a NICU, I probably would have had a baby last night, more than likely. They would have had to have sent me to another hospital about an hour away because my hospital doesn't have a NICU. So they would have had to send either me to the hospital to go have my baby there, or I would have had my baby and they would have sent my baby by herself to the other hospital. Not that that necessarily could have happened because she could possibly not even need a NICU. If that were a possibility, they were like, we just don't want to risk separating you and your baby because that would suck. I would have rather have had a baby last night than get that shot in my arm and feel the feelings that I was feeling last night. So that was my chaotic night last night. I hydrated kids because this girl does not know how to drink enough water apparently. Her nursery is set up. I plan on doing a what's in my hospital bag, her hospital bag and diaper bag. I plan on doing a nursery tour and then showing you guys my setup that I have in my bedroom for her until we start doing everything in her room. I will be doing those soon. I want to do them preferably before I have her. I may film those next week because Colton's coming home for the weekend, so I want to be able to spend time with him because he has to go back to go do his classes for work, which is why he's gone. I'm just hoping she doesn't decide to come this weekend when Daddy comes home because then I'll be behind on everything and have to do it while holding her, which is fine, but still. Anyways, that's the update. I wanted to go ahead and explain to you guys what happened and keep it for documented reasons, you know, just to have that. Not that I really want to remember that. Thank you guys for watching, and we might have a baby soon. I don't really know. The next vlog you see could be me having a baby. I don't really know. Love you guys. Bye.